What's up? What's up? What's up? This is Will coming at you from Southern Maryland. Just came to talk to you guys about I have a 1996 Corvette Collectors Edition convertible, and as most people probably know of convertibles, the tops get to be a little tricky in terms of like keeping water out, and then also they can be a little tricky in terms of staying tight. Well, mine's is I noticed is not the tightest around the top, but also I noticed that the seals um, sometimes the water in, but this one seal in the back, man. I'll show you. I'll show you guys the pictures and everything, and you'll be able to see the images before we actually deal with it. But the one in the back. So what happens is you pop the back, let the top up, and this seal would always get pulled down. It would stick to the top of the hood. And from the time that I had the car, it was a problem. I always found myself trying to reseat it and get it back in position. I noticed that it's not any glue or anything on it. But what I'm going to do, I actually ordered another one. But also what I did is I looked at it, and the way that the one that's in there is now, it doesn't look like it was installed right. It looks like the fat end of the seal is supposed to go towards the inside of the car, and the thin edge is supposed to be facing outward. But nevertheless, I'm about to replace the seal, and I noticed also that it doesn't have any weather stripping glue on it, so that to make sure that it kind of holds tight. But just the mere fact of it being positioned on it correctly, I think is going to make a difference, because I already kind of did a little test run with it. So what we're going to do, what we're about to get into, is the replacement of the rear water seal on the convertible top of a 1996 Corvette. Seal comes loose. You pop this up like this, and then it folds back down. This seal has finally come completely loose. So what I'm gonna be doing is pulling this one off and replacing it. New seal I got from the Corvette guys. Now what I was talking about with this here is, if you look here, you can see that this lip right here is a little different than this lip right here. This one's a little fatter and a little wider here. This one's a little thinner. Well, when you look around the edge of this track, underneath the hood here, or around the base of the convertible top, you can see that it actually has a space for this fine thin track to lock into. Well, the way that somebody installed this one is that this piece, the fatter side, is going into the thin side, which means it wasn't installed correctly. So I think that's what's caused this one to finally come loose. So what was going on is I would spend time, every time I would pull the top, I would spend time going back and trying to fix this and put it back in the track, so that you actually could, so that it actually would stay, and then I would push the top down and lock it. So this is, I think this is maintenance that most people probably find themselves doing when they, with these cars, and when you have a convertible, older model convertible, because this is a 96. So we're gonna go through. I'm gonna try to give you a couple little close-up shots so you can see this thing. You can see the track, and then I'm gonna pull this one completely off and start over. We're putting a new one. So here we are on the other side, and you see on this one it has the blue tag that was actually stuck right into that hole right there. So the new seal, the thing that I'm a little concerned about right now, I noticed, well, I can see now where the problem is. You can see how right here the seal actually folded back, and the blue piece is exposed. So I have to make sure that doesn't happen when we do this one. But I'll show you the new gasket. Weather strip. The new gasket strip has 3 tabs on it, here and here, for each side to go into those little holes. So what we're going to do now, we're just going to turn this camera off, clean these areas, and come back on, and we'll probably figure out how we're going to get this thing tacked up some, so that we can start putting it together. All right. You see here, when I pull the seal off, actually left these tabs in here, so it's gonna pull these out. Come out pretty easily. All right. So now we're just gonna clean it up and come back and glue it. Okay, this is the adhesive that you use here. 3M black super weather strip gasket adhesive. Now what you have to do when you use this is the directions say to make sure the surfaces are clean. After you make sure the surfaces are clean, then you apply a little bit of this to each surface and wait till they tacky, and then you can bring them together. So that's what we're going to be doing. So I'm going to show you the area where I'm going to have to scrape a little bit of this off because it's not clean right now. So you can see here, this is where the old adhesive is. You can see these pieces here. Actually, let me do it with this. See here that there's old adhesive here. Because what's going to happen is the sealer we have, actually, there are tabs on it where the blue tabs actually stick into these holes. There's one here, and then there's one here, and then there's one here. So we're going to be cleaning the glue off of this before we proceed. Then that way we can go ahead and lock it in. And then I think we'll just run a small bead around here. Now how we're going to do all of this without trying to make a mess. I think you'll get the idea. Okay, so here we go. A little bit of this on here. Put some on there. This stuff tacky already. Might not hurt to have some daggone gloves on when you do this. I'll go up to here, so. They say now to wait till this tacks up a little bit. Highly recommend having tissues out here with you. Some paper towels. Top back on. So we go to the other side. Should I wait till this tacks up a little bit, and you can see here. I'm not putting a lot on here. I noticed that it wasn't a whole lot on it when I took it off, so I'm not gonna load it up with a whole bunch of glue. Yep. Just gonna wait for this to tack up. It's almost there already. Starting to tag up already. I could doesn't take too much of this stuff here. It's already tacky. It's not coming off of my finger. So, go ahead and feed this in here. Okay, what I noticed is after I started getting this into the track, I noticed that it will come out kind of easy if I pulled on it a little bit, just a teeny bit. So what I did, I went on and put a bead of the sealant around here, and I'm just going to follow a nice little bead all the way around, and you can see in the track how it's going. Yeah. So I'm going to do that. So basically, I figured out it works better if you put this piece in first, the lower piece in on that lip, on the bottom lip, and then pop the other piece into the top, the other lip. It's a little finer. Can I see? I don't know if you can see it or not. A finer lip at the top. Let me see right here. Yeah, right along there. So I'm gonna go ahead and start putting this in. Okay, you can see how. So when you push down on this, on the top, it actually, if this is not seated well, it actually damages the seal and makes it even worse. And you can see the lines here along this piece right here. You can see these lines that come. So every time I will put the top down to close it up, I was trying to position this correctly, and you can see we'll get cramped like here. I don't know if you can see that. Like here, you can see the cramp, and you can see how it will warp under here, along here. So now we have replaced it, and you can see it now. This one is put into position, and I put the adhesive on it. Let it sit here like this. Probably just pull a car in the garage. Let it sit here with this holding it up. But now I figure since I have top up like this, and I'm doing this, I'm going to go ahead and do a little maintenance. These latches right here, maybe put some lithium grease in these, and I'm going to check these latches too, but more these on this side right here, because as you can see little rust marks in there. So water will get in there, sometimes sit in there. It may not now, because if you notice these points, you can see here this point, and you can see the rust on it. This point is actually inside of the seal here. So with this being a new seal, it's not going to be moving and getting crimped incorrectly. This probably won't be as difficult in the future, because when you actually put the top down, you actually literally have to push this down, and then you bring the top down on top of it. You actually have to push down, and that insert has to go into this hole here. And these holes, if they're not operating correctly, it can be a little difficult trying to force that pin down in there. And for me, the one that's a little difficult is this one all the time. And if you have one that's a little difficult, what I do, I actually reach in on the other side, because the release is right here. See the release here? You come around, you can see the release for those pieces are here. There's one on each side. When you pull this, it actually works on both sides. You can see it moving there. Whoops. So sometimes if the top wouldn't go down, I would pull this slightly, and then I could push the pin and get this pin to go inside here. So I'm not sure that I can get the right angle for this. But you see that metal piece going in there. See it moving? You pull the release. So that spring load right there, this piece actually, if it's not lubricated well, when you go to put your top down, you have to force the pin down, and the seal causes the seal to seal around the edge of the car. So if you can see like right around this, it's an angle here. I think they actually sell like a thin, it's almost like tent paper that you can put around here to protect the hood of your car from the rubber gasket. But what I'm going to do after this all dries up, I'm actually going to coat that gasket with a little bit of a real light coat of silicone, so that when I put it down, I don't have to worry about it actually getting stuck to the top. So I'm going to maintenance. I'm going to do the lithium grease in here, make sure that that it releases well. Then there's another release that actually for this piece right here that I'm moving, and that's down here, this yellow button, and these pins right here actually go down into these pieces here. And when I push the release, you'll see that they actually move. So I want to make sure that these are the piece that this actually seats in down in here has lithium grease in it too. I mean, that's not anything that you probably would need to see. You just basically take your can and spray, put some paper towels on it and spray some in there. Make sure it's lubricated well.